So we want to give a Sanders Garden Center garden update. A few weeks back, we did a video where Sue and I showed you how easy it was to plant collards and cabbage, and we planted a little broccoli. No, we didn't. Brussels sprouts in our new raised beds over behind the store, and we talked about some things that we were going to be adding to our garden area back here. So I just want to give you a little update and let you see how things grew, how they survived the hurricane. You know, we have God throws all kind of curveballs at us, and sometimes we catch them, sometimes we just dodge them. And we dodged the hurricane. We didn't have really any damage here at the store. When we move over a little closer to the raised beds, you can tell that we lost a couple of plants. I should have, and if this were like a true garden, not just a display garden, I had plenty of time to replant in those spots and fill in those holes, and we just haven't had a chance to do it, and that's okay. It's fine. Some of the stuff we lost wasn't entirely because of the hurricane. Part of it was because we had not mulched the beds like I kind of talked about was my plan to do in the last video. So today's purpose is to show you what our plants look like and talk about how we're going to take care of them between now and over the next month or two until we decide to harvest. What I wanted to try this year, so mulching your raised beds or mulching your garden has always been a challenge for me, and I'm always jealous when people come through the store and they talk about how they mulch their gardens and they put stuff down the paths where they walk, and how much it helps suppress the weeds, and it does. Any mulch you put down, you're going to benefit from, because it's going to suppress the weeds. It's going to help hold in the moisture. When you water, it's going to give warmth to the roots of these plants if I let them go, into the winter, which I can with the collards and Brussels sprouts for sure. But then you get into things like, well, what do I use for mulch? Do I use a black fabric, which I've done at home and I like, but I didn't want to do that in the raised beds. Do I use straw? Well, if you use straw, then you of course you're going to drop seeds from that wheat straw. If you use hay, it's going to be the same thing. Pine needles are not everybody's favorite for the garden for different reasons. So what I wanted to do this year was do a little experiment with a wire bin, and for some reason we always have tons of leaves even though we don't have any trees. I used to think they came from across the road, and now all those trees are gone and the housing development's going up. So I guess they come from across Times Boulevard, and they always gather and end up under our tables. And when we break those tables down and start putting stuff up for the winter, then we have to clean up the leaves and haul them off or do whatever. And I was like, well, that's stupid when we could be using those for mulch. So I got Butch to build me a small bin, and if I like this, if it works, then we'll redo it, we'll make a bigger one. But what he did was he took those leaves, and anytime that we have leaves, we're going to put those leaves into this bin. He kind of did me a double wire thing because we weren't sure. This was just some extra wire we had. These holes are a little big once the leaves break down, so he put some old chicken wire around it. As we use this and fill it up, and as it breaks down and sinks down, I'm sure we'll come up with a better method of doing this, a better way of doing it. But the leaves have already broken down from when he put them in here. This I can pull from the top of this and use it as mulch, but over time this is going to break down and make me a really good compost too. So once we get used to doing this and decide if it's worth it or not here. At home it would be. I got leaves everywhere. Here, not so much. So that's why we kind of kept this small. They may break down so fast that it's really not worth it for any more, you know, for the 1 or 2 times a year that we put leaves over in here. But leaves break down and make so it's going to break down and give you an extra truly organic layer of soil on top of your raised bed, or on top of your in the ground garden, or your container, or your grow bag, or whatever. This over time will break down and add nutrients to that soil that you're growing in. So with the leaves, it's a win-win. You get a good mulch. You get a good mulch, and you over time get a good top layer of new soil. So that's kind of the plan that we're going to do today. If you have these leaves at home, when your leaves fall off your trees, I was really glad when we gathered these up and they were already broken, you know, crumbly and broken down like this. If I was doing this at home, I'd probably run over them with a mower or a mulcher, you know, whatever, mulch them up and then put them around my plants. If I'm putting them straight into here, I wouldn't mulch them. I would just put them in here and let them break down on their own. That's what's happened to these. These leaves have been under those tables up there for several months. So as Butch raked them up and gathered them up for me, they just fell apart. So he was nice enough to leave some of them in this orange tote for me. And so what we'll do, we've already watered. We'll come back and put some Milorganite. I like to use Milorganite as fertilizer. I try to be organic. I don't like the effects of synthetic fertilizers on the soil and what it does to the organisms in the soil. Milorganite and nitro-organic fertilizers, they don't do that. They feed the soil, which then feeds your plant. Both of them are high in iron, and you'll have really pretty healthy green plants if you go that route. I'm going to come back and do the Milorganite in a little while, or maybe tomorrow. That way we can water them again and water it in. And hopefully I won't grab any spiders or any critters, because I forgot to grab me some gloves, and I don't do spiders. But all we have to do is take these leaves, and you're gonna mulch. You're gonna mulch around these plants just like you would with mulch or pine needles around your flowers. There's a hole. Put you a good thick layer in there. Put your leaves. Get up close to that plant. I'm gonna do each of these plants this way. And then I'm going to also do the open spaces, because like I said, these are gonna break down. They're going to make me a good top layer as it ages and as it breaks down. Give me a good boost to my soil, and I don't want any weeds growing over in those open places either. So here's step 2 of our garden at Sanders Garden Center. Just stay tuned and we'll let you know how this works, if we like it, if we plan to continue to use it. I would love to try this at home. I think I would have more use out of this bin if I was at home, but I'm here more than I'm at home, so we're going to try it here instead, and I'll let you know how it goes.